What's up, all you Minties? Uncanny Omar here from Near Mint Condition, and join me today as I talk about my top 10 essential buys, must-reads, or books I'm recommending for the month of June of 2022. So, let's get started. And welcome back, everybody. Before getting started, I do want to give a huge thank you to our patrons for making videos like this possible. We do have a link in the description of the video to our Patreon. And the other thing I was going to say that I forgot to say until the very end of the last video is that if you want written documentation of all these books that I look at, that will be found on our Patreon, and I usually put it there on the Sunday right after I do the upcoming collected editions. That's if you want written documentation. So yes, I'm doing my top 10 must-buys or essential reads for the month of June. So let's go ahead and get started. And again, keep in mind that some of these may or may not be delayed. I don't know. First choice is Daredevil by Brubaker and LARK. This is a new printing, but it's mainly for the people that missed it. It's a wonderful freaking follow-up to Brian Michael Bendis' run. To me, I think Brian Michael Bendis purposely, because Ed Brubaker asked him to, put Daredevil in such a tight spot that Brubaker was limited to write what kind of stories he could tell with Daredevil. He's joined by Michael LARK in this. This does collect issues 82 to 105 of Daredevil. And if you enjoyed Bendis' run, you'll enjoy this. This is one of my favorite runs, and it's Ed Brubaker, right? Captain America put his name on the map, but this solidified it that, though, this guy is a damn good storyteller and rightly belongs among one of the best creators of our time that we are very lucky to have. 608 pages, $100 for the reprint. Keep in mind, June 7th is when the this is the Jurjevic cover, and then the David Finch covers comes out the following week. That's the direct market cover. Next up on the same week is Thunderbolts Omnibus Volume 2. I think I would be a fool not to suggest this. This is one of my most wanted omnis. This collects issues 34 through 63, the annual from 2000, the crossover with the Avengers 31 through 34, that annual, that's also the crossover from the year 2000, Life Sentences, from the Vault, Citizen V and the V Battalion, the miniseries, 3 issues, and then the Everlasting follow-up to that, which is a 4-issue miniseries. Kurt Busiek is now gone from the book, but we have Fabian Nicieza, who's one of the best creators of our time, according to me. Mark Bagley on artwork, and then Patrick Searcher when Mark Bagley ends up leaving the book. But you have new characters joining the team of Thunderbolts, and if you know the twist, then it's easier to talk about it. I will be doing an overview of this one probably that Monday or Tuesday of next week. The Girl in the Glim. This is by India Swift and Michael Doig. It is a trade paperback published by IDW, $12.99. It's 128 pages. So I don't know what it is about that cover, but it really just sucked me in, and I'm like, okay, I need to read this. This looks cute, but it could have a lot more powerful story in here. It's about a little girl that can't make any friends because she's awkward, and now she has to face not only school bullies but actual creatures. So I'm wondering where it can go, right? Because it can go one way, she makes friends with them. It can go another way where she has to fight them. So it looks cute. It looks up my alley. So of course, and it's got a little girl on the cover. I have 2 little girls, so of course that speaks to me immediately. From Aftershock Comics, of course, I'm gonna suggest Dark Arc, the complete arc, just because it's all in one. You don't need to seek out the Cullen Bunn, but I strongly suggest that the little horror stories. But Juan Doe does the artwork for most of this, and it's Cullen Bunn. It's a great take on, it's the story, like I mentioned when I was doing the overviews of the books. It's Noah's Ark, but not Noah's Ark, right? It's like where all the dark animals went, where all the evil animals went. And it's like almost whodunit, because there's a murder in there, because you can't trust any of those animals or people that are in that arc. The week of June 21st, my anniversary. Of course I'm going to suggest Wolverine. Wolverine Epic Collection Madripoor Nights. It's coming back to print, collecting the first few stories of the greatest Canadian superhero. Sorry, Captain Canuck fans. Collecting Wolverine 1 through 16. That is the ongoing series that started off by Chris Claremont, Big John Buscema in 1988. And then material, of course, from Marvel Comics Presents 1 through 10, which is actually the prelude to Wolverine 1 through 16. You're introduced to the characters in Madripoor that way. And then Marvel Age Annual number 4. This reprint is $44.99 and it has 504 pages. I strongly recommend getting that. We have The Girl from the Other Side. This is published by 7 Seas, but it is the deluxe hardcover edition. It is an omnibus, that's what they state. It is $42.99 though. And I have been curious about this book for a long time. This is by Nagabe, who is the artist and the writer on the book. So if you've read it, please let me know. I'm going completely blind into it, and I'm suggesting it. And this list is not just for you all, it's also for me, like things I want to check out, but also strongly suggesting out things for you all. Ice Cream Man, Sunday edition. I didn't actually have this suggested. I was excited for it, but for some reason, I guess there were so many good books coming out in May. But this collects the first 12 issue of Maxwell Prince, his stories, and I've done a Hidden Gems on it. Usually in October is when I do Hidden Gems that are horror-centric. But if you've not read it, it's awesome. It's your Twilight Zone. It's your The Hitchhiker story where the Ice Cream Man just appears in these horror stories that are meant to teach lessons. So that's kind of the only thing they have in common. There's no really reoccurring stories or reoccurring characters. As far as the first, how many have I read? 18 issues. There very well could be later on some of the characters or some of the storylines come back, but they're all interconnected by this being. We don't know if he's a demon, if he's what exactly he is, known as the Ice Cream Man. So of course, I'm suggesting it. I'm very excited for that book. And in a way, I guess I'm kind of glad it got pushed back so I can actually recommend it again. The End, hardcover, revised and expanded. I did say that I was going to add this to my list. Finally coming out, this is one, it's the assembled work of Anders Nilsson. It's a sketchbook over the course of the year following the death of his fiancée, Cheryl Weaver. And it's just a collection of short strips about loss, paralysis, and waiting. And, you know, it seems like a really strong and powerful book. So this is one that I'm recommending for me, but I'm also, you know, for people that like these type of stories. Not everybody is going to enjoy these type of stories, of course, because sometimes you need to forget about the horrible things happening in life, so you escape to superhero books and books about, you know, creatures from the dark or whatever, and that's okay. But then sometimes, you know, you need something like this. The Question by Dennis O'Neil. Oh my God, yeah, that is. Last year I did my top 10 most wanted DC Omnis, and of course that showed up, and here it is, actually coming out. Hopefully, coming out. With no further delays. Collecting The Question 1 through 27, Annual number 1, Green Arrow Annual 1, and Detective Comics Annual number 1. There's enough material to wrap up the series and with a Volume 2. But of course, Dennis O'Neil, just blowing the stories out. I love the stories in here. 952 pages, $99.99. And yeah, I'm in. I'm in for this. 100%. And speaking of 100%, 100 Bullets! Volume 2, wrapping up 100 Bullets. And if you have the oversized hardcovers, this does collect 100 Bullets, 59 through 100, but also Brother Lono, which has never been collected in oversized hardcover format. The 8-issue miniseries wrapping up. What happens, you know, you get to find out what happens to Lono, you get to find out what happens to Agent Graves, what happens to all these characters. You know, some of them were off in the first omnibus. So if you've enjoyed it, you know, it is Eduardo Rizzo, it's Brian Azzarello. I love the stories in here. It's one of my favorite Vertigo titles, so of course I'm recommending it 100%. 100 Bullets. The book this time around retails for $125, and this one has 1,008 pages. If you're interested in purchasing these books, don't forget to check out our sponsors. If you live in Europe and are interested in pre-ordering or purchasing Omnis, then you should definitely check out Walt's Comic Shop in Berlin, Germany. They have the cheapest pre-order prices for Marvel and DC big books within the EU. Flat shipping of €9.90 for EU countries, extremely careful and sturdy packaging, emails are answered within 24 hours, and they have a superb selection of new releases and out-of-print books on their website. Just head over to waltscomicshop.com for more great deals and rare titles. And for a limited time, you can use the code NEARMINTCON, all one word, at the checkout for free shipping to all EU countries with your first order. Walt's Comic Shop, your reliable source for Omnis and premium collected editions in Europe. CheapGraphicNovels.com, your online home for graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off cover price. They have excellent shipping and prompt and helpful service. Check out their bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. And don't forget, the CGN also takes pre-orders. That way you don't miss out on the hottest releases. And they are currently running a special promotion for you Minties. If you're a first-time customer, after receiving your order confirmation email, reply back to that email and let them know Near Mint Condition sent you their way. They will then apply a free shipping promotional credit to your next order in the US. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discount, quality shipping, and customer service that will keep you coming back for more. And that was my list of the top 10 must-buys or books to check out in the month of June. Let me know what your top 10 would be in the comments down below. If you have more questions about any of these books, by all means, leave them down below. Again, it's all subjective and does not make your list invalid if, you have books in there that didn't make it on mine. We're just different folks. So, yes, thank you again to our patrons for making videos like this possible. Smash that like button on the way out. Check us out on Spreadshop. All of that helps with our YouTube algorithm and our channel keep growing. Spreadshop just helps, buying the lights, buying new equipment. But everyone stay healthy and safe. Much love.